Welcome everyone back to another World of Warships Destroyer gameplay. Today we're going to be focusing on just kind of cleaning up my mid-tiers. I'm going to be running some of my premium my premium destroyers, and yeah, let's jump right into it. I got 24 hours of premium time yesterday as part of the event for this month, cleaning up the Victory introduction of the Soviet battleships, and I really hope that there's going to be some Soviet battleships that we can torpedo, because I hear that their secondary guns are not very good, and they're quite detectable, and a lot of people are having trouble getting over the armor of the Soviet battleship line, which is one of their points that did not work out in real life nearly as well as it works out in its gamified setting, where you have point breaks for HE shells and the design philosophy of having strong armor on the outside, kind of thin skin of the whole ship, rather than protecting very important parts of the citadel, like the steam engine housing or the rotating turrets, loading mechanism. You can't really see it on the destroyer because it's primarily a battleship feature, but when we play battleships we can talk about it more. There's a lot of ideas that were created in the real world for very specific purposes and cases that don't exactly translate over into game language. But that's one of the unique challenges of historical games, or using historically accurate modeling. So we do not have our concealment. Our concealment is 7.5. That means that any destroyer that tries to go to A will see us well before we are able to see them. And I'm not sure if that means that we should change our gameplay that much. This Miyoko will probably be trying to target me. You can see the smoke of the destroyers right over there. We could get to a place where we can send torpedoes at it. Probably be something like this. That should get at least some coverage of A. We could of course go into our smoke after theirs and kind of sit in that when we become threatened. Or at least delay the capture of A. Nope. And detected. There we go. Alright, doesn't look like we're gonna win this gun duel. As long as he continues firing, he'll be detected. No way that will allow us to target him. There we go. Those are good hits. We're going to switch to AP. Bring a salvo off from this. If he stays broadside to me, I have 59 seconds worth of shooting him. Our AP should do well against broadside target like this. Yep, there goes some citadels. We're actually overpenning the ship. Oh, there we go. Alright, switching back to HE. We might be able to get some AP salvos off on the Miyoko because it has not as great armor, but I'm not sure about this distance and the angle that it would be coming in at. I kind of want to stick to the HE fire. 19 seconds on the smoke. I think that's about time to get out of here. We did capture A, which is our job as a destroyer. So we are doing quite well to win this flank. I kind of don't want to get too close to any of these ships here. I'm just going to take the capture points and get out with our lives. Did some good damage to the Miyoko. I still don't want to engage it when we have nothing to protect us. Doesn't look like... Well, there we go. Miyoko is looking in our direction. I do not want to deal with that. Miyoko is one of my favorite ships. I actually had a great time with my Miyoko. I think I have a few premium versions of it from a event way back in the day with anime girls. That's a fun cultural symbol of Japan, is their living their pride of World War II by having ship girls from that time period. I'm not sure if it's like a popular way to kind of reclaim their loss, but there's very interesting cultural concepts surrounding. Alright, I think I'm going to take some shots here. Now that that island is blocking the Fuso. Yep, and Costa's lighting up us. Perhaps a little bit. Wow, we're taking potentially a lot more damage than I'm comfortable with. Just go in smoke here. Our battleships are running away from A at the point we've captured. Not helping us very much. I'm gonna repair that. Oh shoot. The Costa is steaming straight into us. Damage to kill us. Oh, and we got stuck on the island. This means we'll probably die. Yeah. Well, did more than double our damage back. Killed one of the ships. 4 citadels. 45 hits. Not bad. I think our team is in a good position to win this. It's very strange that our battleships and cruiser kind of took the opportunity to run away from point A. And because of that, we've lost now A and D and are losing on the capture point game. But we're winning on ships. Alright, time to try out something else. So yeah, I feel like we'll stream for a little bit with an eye on some of the goals that we could have in mind. One of them is adrenaline rush, or potentially survivability expert for our Anshan. I don't really like advanced firing training. How many people on each team? I think it's 12. I believe it's 12 per side. It can change based on how many available people are in the queue for each type of ship. So destroyers, aircraft carriers, cruisers, and battleships. I believe aircraft carriers are limited to 2 per side. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12. So 12. Yeah, I feel slightly behind in terms of game knowledge because I don't know very much about the Pan-Asian destroyers. Alright, we're going up against three destroyers each, 4 cruisers, and the rest are battleships. No aircraft carriers today. I can celebrate about that because most of my destroyers have terrible, terrible anti-aircraft capabilities. But yeah, we have a much better, more respectable distance of detection on surface by 6.3. And we're going to use that to try to capture A. We'll probably be going up against the Cossack, the Icarus, or the Gajah-Mada. Not sure how they stack up detection-wise from us. These are all quite capable ships. Not super familiar with the Cossack. I believe it's British. The British destroyers, or the British Navy, has a habit of naming their ships after enemies of the British Empire at one point, or just respectable military traditions from around the world. Kind of an international fleet feel to the British Empire, which is fitting considering their activity in history. The sun never sets on the British Empire, except for, I believe now it does for a few hours, but that's one of my friends said that a while back. And we're detected, so we're just gonna go ahead and pop our smoke. I don't know who's detecting us, but I just want to contest this first cap. Wow. Took some punishment right away. While we're in here, we may as well fire. Looks like the Huang is still getting a read on us in some way. I'm gonna elevate the gun just a little bit from the ship that's going away from us, popping its smoke. And here we are. Oh, this could be bad. Yep. Oh. Wow. And that is a harsh lesson that I learned in staying in my smoke. Being detected by someone I couldn't see, and then torpedoes shortly following us. It was a good spread by the enemy. Hats off to them. Alright, now we can jump into our Icarus. We do have one of the better camouflage values for the Icarus. This was from the winter New Year's event. It's essentially one of the permanent camouflages. That's why I really like to keep this ship. Of course, my commander is very, very inexperienced, and we're working our way towards concealment expert as we speak. That's going to help out this ship a lot. But we have hydroacoustic search. Could have helped out against those torpedoes. 6 deployments of very short smoke, which is one of the... Well, a single torpedo is enough to take down a destroyer. Oh, sorry. Carbon speed dating is a single torpedo enough to take down an entire ship. Depends on the ship, and it depends on the type of torpedo. Different types of torpedoes have the damage to take out different types of targets. Some torpedoes do little damage but are very, very fast. Some torpedoes, are for their deep water torpedoes and are for aircraft carriers and battleships, and they do a huge amount of damage, but of course those targets have much more health. Usually destroyers are having a bad day if they come in contact with any single torpedo. Sometimes you can survive it with some boats, but kind of at lower tiers, it really does hurt you and has the potential to just instantly kill you. Of course, we had already taken damage from the cruiser, so I'm not sure if we could have survived or not. But yeah, destroyer gameplay is a lot about detection, and we were detected first, trying to contest the cap circle, and that meant that we were facing off against a cruiser who knew where we were, a destroyer who also knew where we were, and our chances went down from there. I didn't help myself out by staying in the smoke too long, but I also wanted to contest that cap in a meaningful way. So our torpedo is 7 meters. We have a 6.6 detection range here. You can kind of see that. Detectability range by sea, 6.6. Looks like we have 2 aircraft carriers on either side, and because there's no point to cap, I think I'm just going to play it safe and not try to rush too far ahead. I'd like to stay with my team if I can. Potentially set up my AA, though I don't have great AA. 2.6 kilometers, and my firing range is 1.5 kilometers. So by the time the planes see me, I won't be able to fire at them. You see this Furious is kind of hunting for me in between the Enterprise's anti-aircraft radius. But yeah, I don't feel too much pressure to jump out and contest these planes right now. I'd rather stay under the Furious's anti-aircraft bubble. Because we have 2 aircraft carriers on our team, I can actually give some of the role of scouting to them, to our friendly planes, which is, the development that occurred in the middle of World War II, where destroyers went from being single-handedly responsible, or largely responsible, for locating the enemy fleet to picket ships. Carbon speed dating, is this supposed to take place in specific places? It looks like you're off the coast of something. There are some maps that are designed to represent very specific locations from World War II or World War I. I'm not sure what this map is specifically going for, but, there are a number of Pacific atolls that were at the site of World War II battlefields that can look very similar. This one, of course, I think is quite tall, made of a very specific type of rock formation that features a lot of layers. I think that's the game trying to provide artillery cover more than anything. I suppose I could jump out on the other side of this island and help provide a different angle of location spotting for my team. The Massachusetts is coming up here with a synop, and I want to protect or help support this prong and see we're detected. I'm not sure what we're detected by. Yep, the Kagero is here. We're gonna be forced into a duel with this Kagero. It's turning towards me, so I'm gonna activate my yep. see those torpedoes, so we're just gonna turn away. I don't like being under air attack in this way, so I'm gonna try to give myself some smoke, at least for 37 seconds. Potentially waste the time of this aircraft carrier here. And give our Synop and Massachusetts some amount of ability to support me. Notzer had a very good 6 seconds left. Time to get our engines spooled up and running. Looks like we were able to resist that air attack and the Tango with the kick arrow with full health. So excellent engagement. We survived 3 torpedo attacks, did some healthy damage to our counterpart destroyer on the other team, and now we're just sailing away in support of our battleships. That is smoke on the other side, very close to our battleship. I'm not 100% comfortable with how close that is to our Synop, so I'm going to try to pressure them out, add some anti-aircraft fire to our battleship is under torpedo attack. Yep, there's the Jarvis right there. So we have 31 seconds left on our our hydroacoustic surge. I believe we're proximity spotted now.
To port.
Yep, and there come the torpedoes.
Torpedoes astern. Torpedoes astern.
So we're going to select the single torpedo fire location so that we don't waste any, and we'll just kind of make maneuvering for this destroyer very difficult. So he'll have to move. You know, I hope he does move from that location. It'll help us make our area a lot safer for our battleships. Yep, there it goes. And we did get a hit. That errant torpedo fired erratically has paid off for us. I'm gonna reassign our sectors. Boise, I suppose. Okay, non-penetrations by hitting the gun mantlet here. And we're detected from hydroacoustic search. I believe the destroyer that's opposing us. Oh, and I think we're stuck on this rock. The destroyer that's opposing us is basically a larger version of ourselves. Being under rocket attack from this angle does not make me the happiest. I have to reassign my sector here. The Synop looks to be in a bad way. Alright, keep this sector located towards the enemy aircraft carriers. Boat drifting. Yes, Carbon Speed Dating has found the infamous boat drifting memes of using Tokyo Drift music to... Oh wow. Yeah, these torpedoes very, very close to us. Alright, we're gonna launch a very erratic spread. Looks like our counterpart is moving. Under attack from the aircraft. I'll use some of my smoke.
Smoke generator activated. Smoke screen set.
Very lucky that we got some misses there. Oh, it looks like Jarvis did go down. And our Massachusetts AA was able to help us out. So I'd like to get some speed and just move from this location just in case the Jarvis launched torpedoes at us. I don't know if I want to use my hydroacoustic search right now. But let's try to do our job, which is to launch torpedo attacks against battleships. So I was doing some research on the role of destroyers in the interwar period and why they developed the way that they developed. And originally they started life in response to late 1800s development of torpedo boats, which are very small, fast ships, like PT boats, as commonly known in society, at least American society. JFK famously operated a PT boat in World War II. There's also a number of hilarious recruiting videos that you can see about them. Alright, so we're lining up our attack here. I'm going to switch to the spread, the wider spread. British destroyers have the option to launch torpedoes individually, which adds many interesting options. But I'm just going to... This Ismail seems to be in reverse. And he's in our detection. Well, actually he's not. If we launch now, I don't think we'd be able to get the hits that we need. Perhaps this North Carolina is a better candidate for us. I think it is. Let's launch there, and then switch our strategy to just kind of giving a healthy spread of single target torpedoes. A lot of times people find it easier to dodge, you know, kind of the set wave of torpedoes, but more difficult to kind of load the damage in a haphazard manner. Yep, there we go. And there we go.
We sank their battleship.
Yep, so I think that was a good little attack run there. Got devastating strike, quite a bit of damage, and this game is functionally over. We're going to be targeting the remaining 2 aircraft carriers that are already under fire, and this battleship that's permanently in reverse. User says, you sunk his battleship. And it's true. I did. That's one of the greatest things about destroyers. That's the purpose that they were created for, is to be a very cheap way for a country to sink a much more expensive ship type from another country. You get a huge value trade. And it's also sorry, the way that destroyers were originally invented is betrayed by their name, which originally is torpedo boat destroyers. That's where the destroyer comes from in the designation. And this is, you know, essentially created as a response to guard the fleet at anchor against night torpedo boat attacks, and designed to hit the battleships where they're most vulnerable and least able or likely to maneuver, which is at night. Oh wow. We got detonation. This is why we wear anti-detonation flags, because on a destroyer especially, any possible hit to your boat because you don't have a citadel is a potential detonation. Ah, my hubris. My hubris comes to strike again. But anyway, the torpedo boat was designed to destroy battleships. Battleships were the most important development of World War One, and kind of pre-World War One or late 1800s ideas about how to win battles at sea. Got a word here, just a daily for smoke generation. So yeah, so they created something to counter battleships. Destroyers were created to counter those torpedo boats. Exactly. And the torpedo boat destroyer eventually became so necessary as torpedo boats started to be launched from battleships on the open sea that they started to bring them with them instead of just at port as a defensive option on, the coastline to the open ocean in staged battleship duels on the open sea. And that meant that a destroyer had to go from looking like, what's a good example? Probably USA. Had to go from looking like this, which is a very slim, low hull design, but not very seaworthy, to looking like, looking like this, which is a much more formidable, wider, taller warship, which is more heavily armed. Also, it became apparent as the steam turbine started to revolutionize how fast warships could go that a light, small warship like this could go incredibly fast, faster than many of the battleships or cruisers could ever hope to go, and could carry out torpedo attacks of their own. And they became seen as a good value trade, especially for poor countries. If you couldn't afford a big navy full of battleships and cruisers and aircraft carriers, you just get a bunch of destroyers like this, like the Pan-Asian line currently has, which is all destroyers. And that meant that you could theoretically pose a threat not only to enemy destroyers and cruisers, but also enemy battleships due to their torpedo armament right here. And that's, in many ways how the invention of the torpedo completely changed naval warfare and strategy. Is torpedo invention creates torpedo boats create torpedo boat destroyers. Those turn into regular destroyers that are seaworthy enough to go out on the open ocean with their own torpedoes and torpedo battleships. Could, I guess, try out the German battleships. The Gade isn't terrible, the Ernst Gade. It's certainly better than the ship that came before it, the T-22, which literally looks like a tugboat or a fishing boat because it's a giant square. And it's very slow. I actually didn't have that bad a time with it. I know that many people did. It's notoriously one of the worst ships in the game. But German destroyers are quite interesting. I've yet to upgrade this one. Might do so. Doesn't seem to be extra 3 knots in the torpedo range. Doesn't seem to be world breaking, but let's try it out. Oh, I should have put on flags. I should always use flags. Torpedo boat destroyer, just add more adjectives. Yeah, I mean, I think they added more adjectives until they just took them all off and just say, it's a destroyer. It destroys things. That's what it does. Alright, this is an important one. Just pay the price for this pretty hard. Speed, always important for every ship, destroyers especially. Flooding, yeah, we're probably going to be the most likely to hit with torpedoes and cause flooding. That and aircraft carriers, honestly. And this one seems good, and then whatever I have the most of here. Free XP, sure. This Sure. Alright, let's go. I don't know a terribly much amount of destroyer for Germany. The German destroyer line was kind of when I stopped playing as much. I know a lot more about Japanese and American destroyers because those were the first two in the game. And that's where I did much of my play as a beta tester. And in the first few months of the game, things were a lot different back then. Just UI-wise, shell behavior-wise, the way the game felt as a concept. Alright. So I think I might try out a strategy in which I just do one type of ship per video. And I wonder if that would be a better way to organize the videos and my time. And I might kind of make these videos into separate videos based on the type that I'm playing. So I have like a few destroyer ones and then a few cruiser ones. Of course, some of the games that I played today were embarrassing losses, but that's just how destroyer gameplay works. Is sometimes you single-handedly win the game for your team, and sometimes you get evaporated in the first 2 minutes from someone else's torpedo. That's just the way that the life of a destroyer captain works. Sometimes you win the war, sometimes you die immediately. Yeah. I think that the discerning feature of the German destroyers are their armor-piercing shells. Armor-piercing shells have excellent gun behavior. Looks like 3.5 is our firing range, and our detectability by air is 3.1. I might just leave that on, because 0.4 is probably not enough to really hurt us. This Ryujo has found us and is quite happy with themselves. Might be circling around for another attack. I might actually just take that opportunity to go into smoke. Yeah, let's do that. Just to throw off this attack. And then hit reverse. Nope, does not feel the need to go with this. We're going to disable the direction of our AA. That way it's on equal parts of the ship. Although I might actually put it on. Nope. Yeah. Airplanes are so fast that they just go on both sides of your ship anyway, regardless of what you do. So we have 32 seconds. We have captured the point. There's no reason for me to be here anymore except to protect myself from these planes. And yeah, we did get 2 of them. Did 2,200 damage. It's very nice. So we have C point, and this is another Gade. I'm not going to worry too much. I'm just going to duel him. I'm going to use that HE, get some incapacitations. HE is great for incapacitating destroyers because it does module damage to a large extent. There seems to be a lot of fires on that Gade. Really regretting his life choices. I want to get to the outside range, the edge of my range, and kind of stay as safe. And many times, distance equals safety. And if I make the shots as far away and as difficult as possible for my enemy, I can get a reasonable assumption of safety. And he's in a very bad spot. He's in reverse. The La Garçonnière is submitted to sights. I'm wondering why he's not in smoke, or perhaps he is. And he's trying to capture C. And I might set up a torpedo attack 7.5 kilometers on this New York. Using this island as cover, I could hit my speed boost here, my engine boost. Could help me out. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go kind of a very suicidal run at this New York and really focus on destroying him. I'm gonna be on the right side of the ship. Alright. And I think he's gonna turn out, so... Or he'll just be dead before my torpedoes even reach him. This Ryujo is launching torpedo attack planes at me. Do not appreciate that. Yep, and our torpedo did hit.
Gegnerisches Schlachtschiff gesunken.
Let's reinforce this sector. I think he's going to be hanging out on that side. And yes, our enemy aircraft carrier just launched, or just gave us some great cover with fighters. So, in case those of you who don't know, enemy or friendly aircraft carriers can fly over an area and vector in fighter aircraft to defend a circle, an area of the map. I'm going to target this gate. This gate is on very low health. If I could get away from this island enough. Oh, yeah. Looks like our friendly Ryujo's rocket planes took him out, and we are just going to recap C. We still have a points advantage. I don't know which side the torpedo planes will be showing up on, so I'm going to undo my targeting sector. That's a rocket attack, so I'm going to redo the targeting sector over here for this Ryujo. I'm going to get as close as I can to my friendly fighter planes from the Ryujo and my friendly Garçonniere, who's coming under air attack. Just add some AA to our friend. Most importantly, we're going to capture the area. That's what we want to do the most. I'm going to take that off. Now, if the enemy aircraft carrier decides to hit us, it'll reset our capturing. That will not be excellent for us. This Dunkirk is also getting very, very close to us. Uncomfortably close.
Unser Team hat die Führung übernommen.
Yep. Kind of saw that coming. He missed the Garçonniere. We still have these planes to deal with. Aircraft carriers are so annoying. I'm just going to try to keep safe from that and cap, and then get out of here or launch an attack against the Dunkirk. Yep, they're bombing ineffective areas. Actually, in this smoke, we can go ahead and light up the Dunkirk here. Maybe set some fires, get him to burn his control module if we need to. At least distract him. So we have captured. The Emile Bertin is behind the Dunkirk. Do not want to tangle with both of those, and I'm not going to try. Reinforce this sector and add some A defense to our New Mexico, who's going to be coming under torpedo attack. Ah man, these two aircraft carrier games are just constantly trying to fight off aircraft. It's so bad. And yeah, let's just take that off. comes the last wave. And it's gone.
Maschinenboost deaktiviert.
Looks like it didn't want to go in for that other attack. Ryujo continues launching planes. Samuel Bertin is going to be trying to hunt us. Don't want that to happen.
Unser Team hat die Führung übernommen.
Looks like we're out of range to help. Could distract the Emile Bertin, potentially. But getting involved in a gunnery duel with a cruiser, especially a French cruiser, that would love to destroy destroyers. Kind of a bad concept for us. We might just want to do damage to planes with the New Mexico, but that's not really great either for us because our AA is very minimal. Perhaps just keeping the Emile Bertin spotted or the Ryujo spotted could be useful for us. Yep. Ryujo seems to be committed to attacking the Furitaka, so he can kind of contribute some amount of damage that direction. That's quite a significant hit.
Feueralarm! Problem gelöst. Kritischer Maschinenschaden.
Didn't look like we could affect some meaningful damage on the Ryujo. Ryujo should be targeting me because I am one of the threats to its survival. Looks like we're experiencing some rudder shift issues from the repairs. Emile Bertin has taken a lot of damage and is disengaging. We could get some shots on the Ryujo. Of course, we'll have to spot it.
Provide anti-aircraft fire support.
Yeah, this Ryujo is quite effective. Up, and the other Ryujo is going to attack us. Might want to just hang out in smoke to resist this, or else we might die.
Nebelwerfer gestartet. Nebelwand gelegt.
Yep, just we're gonna have to wait it out for 54 seconds. Everything is out of our range. Looks like one of the Ryujos mercifully died. This other Ryujo is still hanging out around us. Oh, looks like it's lining up an attack. Wow, and it was able to see us through the smoke
Feueralarm.
and still hit us.
Problem
Alright,
gelöst.
27 seconds. Yeah, that was a mess. But you can see we're using all of our resources to stop playing the game and just start hanging out inside this smoke. We're constantly having to re-switch our AA sectors. And use, you know, we don't have any smoke left. We have our engine boost. If he tries to attack me with torpedoes, I'm just gonna laugh. Okay, he's not. Yeah, it's... I think that the aircraft carriers either need a finite amount of planes to send, or just to eliminate rocket planes. Current speed dating asks, were the ships used in World War II made around that time period, or were they inherited from World War I? Well, they're usually interwar time periods. Some of them were from World War I. You know, World War I, I think 1917 era ships would be hopefully outdated by 1939. You know, 20 years is a long time. And a lot of different developments came about during that time period, especially in regards to radar. And they're usually interwar period. Of course, after World War I, the Washington Naval Treaty restricted many of the developments of those arms in a bid to kind of make the world a safer place by making all of its weapons less deadly. It's a matter of historical debate as to how effective that is. Taking up time with the Neil routine. Maybe not our best move, but if we can finish it off. And these rocket planes again. Oh, we missed. Not a good setup for us. There we go.
Gegnerischer Kreuzer gesunken.
Norwegia will be trying to... Ah, we made him overshoot. Excellent. By drifting our tail in towards the Norwegia, we were able to resist their attack. Yeah, and again, only light damage. We were able to survive. Caught with that last one. We did 12,000 damage to planes. 12,371. Does not appear to matter. Oh, looks like we've lost the game. They have cruisers and destroyers, and that Risho is able to run away from me effectively enough. I'll maybe able to waste the time of the Rijo. Of course, it still has so many rocket planes. Alright, we're gonna go into a hard left turn, see if that works. Looks like it didn't even try. So it's on our blind side now, so we have to take away our... Alright. Yep. Rocket planes counter destroyers pretty hard. And if you're in a destroyer that doesn't have full upgraded AA, your time is limited. That was a disappointing defeat. I feel like we did a really good job at our point. It was captured all the way to the very end, but I think the rest of the team kind of had trouble on their flanks. This Ryujo shot down 33 planes. Ismail 13. their other Ryujo 20 planes. So I think our carriers were having a bad time with their fighters, potentially. I mean, hang around in areas they really shouldn't be for very long. Yeah, team, it's everyone else's fault. Well, it's definitely few people's fault. This Fubuki seemed to have a really hard time having to shoot down 5 airplanes. Ugh. Very difficult. I think their aircraft carriers were just really good. They certainly killed me, those aircraft carriers. And take more resources just in pursuit of the Bismarck special camouflage. I'd like to keep the Bismarck. XP per battle, credits per battle, good stuff. Well, let's take this opportunity to upgrade our Baron. Hopefully giving it a little bit more A defense, plus 5. It's gonna help. Could have helped a lot in our last match. That's one of the good things about World of Warships is you do always feel like there's achievable progress in your future. You know, that you're able to affect the things that you do. Perhaps smoke generator gives an extra consumable and lower reload time. That could be very useful. Might be worth the money considering I have 12 million credits. Engine boost, less reload again, more consumables, sure, why not? Hydroacoustic surge, extra 60 seconds off of that. I don't really kind of feel that that's worth it, so I'm not going to buy that one in particular. Alright, so that'll do it for the destroyer round. I think I'm going to stop this video here and potentially play battleships afterwards. And we'll get a chance to talk about battleship development tactics. Alright, I'll see you there.